Final game from the women's draw today. It's a Pool C match between Singapore and Sri Lanka, as they will decide the third and fourth seeds for Pool C. Singapore beaten 43-0 earlier by China and 26-0. There's our Singapore side. Had made gradual improvements over the series. They slow starters on day one. We've seen that in all three legs. They come back strong on the second day against sides of more comparative abilities. Sri Lanka, well, Dilrukshi, number 9, she scored a blistering try earlier, and they've got 3 or 4 ball players who can score from anywhere. So in front of their home crowd, looking to end the day on the high, Sri Lanka. They got beaten 27-0 by China and 17-12, narrowly going down to Hong Kong. So good effort earlier today from Sri Lanka. They've definitely improved over the 2 years. Last year's series were never really competitive, but already this year.
This will be an interesting clash, Grant, these two teams. They're fairly even on paper in many ways. We've got an injury down already. Ideal playing conditions, and if we can get a shot of our the sunset out to left while we've got a stoppage in play, it's a beautiful scene here at the Race Course Stadium while the injured player is getting attended to. The sunset reflecting off the clouds. It's a pity we can't see it. The referee having a chat to the Singapore captain. There she is from the Tokyo Phoenix Club, Te Tawasosi. She was at the Bedok Kings 20-year anniversary dinner last Saturday night. Not revealing any inside contractual discussions going on. She's going back to Tokyo. The Singapore women's team are essentially made up of 3 clubs. The Blacks Club, one of the oldest, if not the oldest, Singaporean club in Singapore, the Bucks Club and the Bedok Kings.
Singapore let it sing up over the halfway line. Bullied to the ground. This is Christabel Lim. That looked like a wee bit high on Eunice Chu. They're very aggressive on defence, the Sri Lankans. They love a bit of rough stuff. There's Chan, number 1. Tiptoeing down this near touch line, and it's a good tackle from Anusha.
See, that's unforgivable at this level. That's a turnover ball. You've got to stay in play because that's Sevens rugby. You don't want to get tackled. You know the touch line's there. You know you're being squeezed. Well, come back in and look for your support play. Keep the ball alive. You've just given the ball straight back to Sri Lanka.
Stolen at the front by Christabel Lim. That's good work. Chan now to Alvinia Al-Yong. She's got a hunger for tries, this player. Is up in about 4th spot on the ladder for tries scored, and they're on the 22. Chan gives it to Tawasosi, and she gets the big legs pumping. Chan again has a cheeky look on the left, nothing happening. This is Lai. Been impressed with Lai over the series. She's improved. Chan tries to get the Motomoa going with a big kickstart, and that's great defensive work from Dilrukshi. She gets over the top there, just can't keep her feet. Here's Al-Yong, Alvinia Al-Yong. Looking for this opening score of the game. Lim to Chan, who's out wide, Tawatosi. Can they stop this big player from here? Good tackle from Dulani. And they win the penalty, and that's good defence again from the Sri Lankans. Love it.
She went twice, Tia Tausovsi. You could see that she let the ball go the first time and then got to her feet, and then drove again, and then she got up without releasing the ball and went again another metre, and that was why the penalty was. If she had repeated the first instance, she would have been fine.
It's a wobbly kick, hasn't found touch, and Ao Yong brings it back from the 10-metre line now. Has a look up, sees in front of her, sizes things up, gives it to Tawasosi. She puts in the big run, comes onto the last defender. Too big, too strong, and they've broken the deadlock, Singapore. Tawasosi for this first try of the match here. Good work from Alvinia Ao Yong to size things up at the back there.
I had the pleasure of meeting her last weekend at Saturday night at the dinner, and she's a lovely lady for someone who is so big, powerful and strong, from the Tokyo Phoenix Club. Here she is playing for Singapore women's national team, gets her first try of the tournament, and an important one.
The kick is just away, so 5-0. Look at this, and I certainly wouldn't want to be getting in the road there as the final defender. She can step, she can pass, and she can just run over the top of you. Lots of options.
Better
Beautiful
effort by
restart.
Singapore at this stage. They're chasing the kick-off a bit better. The kick-off's a bit more accurate.
Roxy takes it up aggressively, puts the big forearm in. Here they come now. They've got some space if they can just manipulate it. Just pinning her ears back goes Anusha. Pins her ears back. She's going to go all the way. Christabel Lim's not going to cut her off at the post either. There she goes, and that's beautifully worked by Sri Lanka. Straight from the kickoff. And they've certainly got some gas in the right places, the Sri Lankan women's team.
Well, I imagine Matt Turner, who's coaching the men's team, has had an influence on the women's team. And this is a great part of rugby development. And this young lady, Athanayake, really had too much pace, and it was straight from the kickoff, as you point out, Grant. The conversion is gone wide, unfortunately. And here it is. Number 7 for Singapore was sizing up Mohammed Ghaffur, and there was numbers outside, and this lady bought and got the ball despite the attention of Lim. Look at that beautiful setting. What a magnificent picture.
5-5 then, and we said it would be close, and it's so far no closer than 5-5 with a minute remaining in the first half, if my maths serves me correct. Here she goes again. Tito Asosi makes something out of nothing again, taken on the 10 metre. Now they give it some air. This is Lai. Goes inside, gets clobbered around the chops, and a high one from Anusha. And the arm is out for some sort of advantage. Didn't look any malicious in it, but it was high, and that should be advantage over on the halfway line. Scooting round was Nadika, just seeing that it was free. It popped out of the breakdown, so she was entitled to just come in like a thief in the night there and have a crack at it.
Much better performance than Singapore in this game. They're a lot more cohesive. They're talking in defence. Energy's better in Singapore, but equally the same with Sri Lanka.
Hooter's gone as Nadika gets it in. Here she goes on one of her very sideways runs. She's got so much gas though. She gets around here. She's gone. They won't catch her. It's Dulani. She's a big try scorer, and those yellow boots are on fire. And a leg trip at the end there. It won't go down well with the referee, but what pace.
Christabel Lynn was a bit lucky not to get a little warning there with that late tackle. Hala Leka Donagi, fourth try for this series. And, you know, Dulani doesn't get much ball, but when she does, you saw how much she had to do. She come right around and wide. In camera, getting some water.
Took off sideways, didn't she?
Yep, we'll see in the replay shortly as the conversion goes wide. An important score for Sri Lanka right on half time. A good indication of their intensity. Here it is. Look at that. She's just hits the gas and she's really going, and she has to go so wide right over to the near touchline. And then she comes around and then goes another little step as she sees Lim coming across. And that was a bit unfortunate in the end. Apologises quickly.
Helps her off, dusts her off, and you know, Bob's your uncle. A couple of beers later, maybe. Good mates. Reminds me of Andrew Harriman, that sort of run. You remember the 93 inaugural Sevens World Cup? Andrew Harriman from England.
Are you saying that because I'm Australian? Are you bringing that, rubbing in my face in it again, as you've done all day?
Don't make it about you in Australia. Andrew Harriman led the try score in that tournament. No one could match his pace. He'd just take off sideways, as Dulani did there, and back himself, and he scored like that every time.
He was in form that year, and the great David Campese was on the opposition, and Harriman had the better of him. There's a little trivia question for you. Name the two players in rugby history that have won both a World Cup 15-a-side medal and a World Cup 7-a-side medal.
Let me just, give me a minute.
Because that game is the clue. And Dulani there, we're seeing the replay. Apologies for that, says Christabel Lim. Look how together Sri Lankan girls are. They are pumped for this game. They are right up for it. They know they've got a great chance. They're leading. And again, another important step in Asian Women Rugby Sevens.
Talked about Matt Turner, the coach of the Sri Lankan men's, the South African-born player who played for the English Sevens side from 2009 to 2013, scored 92 tries, knows his way to the try line himself. And we've got some real strike players in both the men's and the women's side. This crowd enjoying the last appearance of the woman, their hometown woman today, as the Pelicans come soaring across this field again. There's 5 of them now. Each time they come back with another, if we're here for much longer, you can't quite see them.
Coming towards you.
Majestic looking birds.
You are the David Attenborough of Asian Sevens.
They're just doing a flyby there. I think it's been arranged by the Sri Lankan Rugby Union, that flyby. And we get a wide shot there. We've just missed them. Look at that sunset as night descends on us here in Columbo. Let's hope the Pelicans do come back once more, as Singapore now very rarely put on a rolling maul. And is that Ao Yong just trying to reach out? Can't quite get there. And if this woman gets the ball, she'll be hard to stop. She rolls once, rolls twice. Chan gives her a hand. Good defence from Sri Lanka. Eunice Chu fishes it out. Ao Yong to Lai. She straightens up. Now the Sri Lankan defence let them have this one. Eunice Chu spots Chan coming around the corner. Pops it up to her. Very good defence from Sri Lanka here in front of their home crowd, defending that try line. And they throw it at the ref. That old trick to get yourself a scrum. Chuck it at the ref, who gives a wee smile. Realise he's played his part in that move.
What we're seeing here, Grant, it's indicative of the Asian Sevens Series men's and women's this year. All the teams have stepped up, but the new teams that have come into each leg have shown not only the appetite, but their skill level across the board has improved from last year. And from each leg, each team has improved. It's great to see men's and women's.
Good haranguing there at the scrum by Nadika for Sri Lanka, and she's forced a turnover. And that was fantastic from her under a huge amount of pressure. 5 metres out, they come away now. Singapore's turn to ramp it up on defence. Tawatosi shows the daylight, goes in, and when players do that, they're almost drawing the ref's attention to the fact that I've given daylight, I'm going to get in there like a seagull. Watch me go. And speaking of seagulls, speaking of pelicans, in fact, here they come again. I really am enjoying this spectacle. You know, we've got the strobes, we've got the flames, but the pelicans, for me, are winning it today.
I am overwhelmed by the pelicans. Here, and Dad's coming back now. Mum and the kids have gone the other way. But Dad, pelicans heard you.
Tawatosi there looks like she's knocked that on, but she runs through and puts a big hit on Anusha, who had nothing she could do there, but as the huge frame of Tawatosi came bursting down, and here comes the speedster. Here she goes again. Dulani have broken out from their own 20, and she's going to gas it to the poles again. Gosh, she's wonderful in full flight. The head stays dead still as the legs just pump it out.
How quick is she? I mean, that was superb. Again, the bounce of the ball helped, but you've got to be in the right place at the right time to take advantage of that. She's got great vision, but when she gets the ball, gee whiz, she goes. And she has been the difference in between the two teams at this point in time. The conversion's completely gone astray. Perhaps could have taken the time a bit more on that. Look at this, gets the bounce and just goes. And you can see the Singapore cover defence, they knew there was no way they were going to get near. Even the referee had to put some big yards in to get up there.
Did she give the ball a kiss there? It's a nice touch. I think the Singaporeans, they threw that ball into the line out, perhaps caught a glimpse of a pelican in the corner of their eyes, and pelicans causing havoc here. They've been part of the secret. Here goes Tawatosi, boom, up past the 10-metre line. Good, straight, hard line there. As Singapore now look to come back with 2 minutes left and 10 points astray. Chan puts her foot over the line though, and surely the AR has seen that. Yes, he has. So what a run from Tawatosi in full flight.
Well, the flight of the pelicans has now, you've scared them off. They were enjoying the Asian Sevens series up until that last try.
The Pelicans.
Singapore making a substitution, number 3 coming on, of course. Ong Pei Yi and Tia Tawatosi coming off. She's worked hard.
Line out on the halfway. It's not very tidy, but and put herself at great risk there, did number 10 Sanjiwani, but they've got it back, and here she goes again, gets to her feet, dusts herself off. Singapore streaming through, and they've won themselves a turnover here, and they'll have to score from here if they want to stay in this. They'll have to score off this movement. Lai goes to one knee like a outfielder in a cricket match, goes down on one leg, takes it nicely. Bit of patience here on the 10 metre. And if the Sri Lankans were to get the remote-controlled Pelicans back here in this final minute to perhaps put them off as they have a final 45 seconds to draw even.
You can see, I don't understand why Singapore's taking their time here. And
they need to score twice. Here's Chan. Again, Lai going down in that on one knee to secure that one. Just slowing everything down. There's nothing on out that way, but it's Ao Yong. She knows the way to the try line. Scored a leading try scorer for the Singapore outfit. Sri Lankans finally get back on side. That's another mistake. So time is up here now almost. So the game is gone. Our last score here might just make things look respectable, but Sri Lanka in front of their fans are going to win this game. And I wouldn't have picked that coming into this game based on the form of Singapore. They've taken out 5th spot in the previous 2 legs, and now they've gone down to Sri Lanka, less offensive, and there is a rousing round of applause for the hometown girls here, and rightly so. They're a happy bunch right now.
They are a happy bunch. Great win by Sri Lanka. It was going to be a close game, and Singapore made a few mistakes, but literally 2 tries to Delaney and 2 bounces of the ball. She was the difference, and Sri Lanka deserved their win, 15 points to 5. And again, that makes it interesting in the lower part of the women's competition tomorrow. Here we see some of the highlights as Tia Tara Sosi for Singapore gets her first try. And Sri Lanka came back well. Look at this. Big strides and streaking away. And a very important score there by Sri Lanka. And then this lady, Delaney, the first of her tries, she had to go very wide, right over near the touchline to go out and around the Singapore defence. Lim coming across, she sees her coming, decides to put the ball down and gets tangled up, and then bounce again. Just so much pace. And she knows she's got it. She looks, she checks 3 times. She kisses the ball as well, which was an interesting move, which he called correctly. There you have it. Another upset.
Another upset, and that will please the local officials and fans and family members of the Sri Lankan team. They've had a good day on day one, the men and the women.